This roster news that we were talking about with Mississippi State, or alluding to with Mississippi State just a little while ago. So some names have entered the transfer portal in the last few days since the maroon and white game. Mike Wright, two-sport athlete at Mississippi State, track guy and football guy. Yeah. Started a couple of games last season at the quarterback. The Vanderbilt transfer is looking for another spot. By all accounts, a great teammate. Fantastic teammate. Yes. Really liked by all the guys that he played with, all the guys that he competed with. He can't play quarterback in the SEC.
Simple as that. He was the fourth-string quarterback. If he wanted to play, he needed to go somewhere else.
Zay Alexander has entered the transfer portal. He redshirted last year. Offensive lineman from Tupelo. Avery Sledge, also a guy that played a little, but hey, Dad, we expected this. We expected some of the guys that were a little down on the depth chart to enter their name in the transfer portal because, one, that is college football today, and two, Mississippi State, according to you, was over the 85 in terms of scholarship guys.
That's correct, yeah. And still, I think right now they're at 85, and so that means they still need to lose a few more because they have freshmen coming. You know, they had their fall enrollees are coming, so you got to make some spots for them as well. So probably more to come. 5 or 6 more guys will probably hit the portal at some point.
Okay. What about the lack of incoming guys in the transfer portal in the spring? There is a little concern about the running back from Miami of Ohio, who is, forgive me for not remembering his name. Help me out.
Rashad Amos.
Yes. So Rashad Amos is visiting Colorado. That doesn't mean that his commitment is dead from Mississippi State unless there's news that has come out since we came on the show today. But it does concern you a little bit if you've already committed to one school in the transfer portal era and then you choose to go visit another school after making the commitment.
Yeah, it's different with high school kids, right? High school kids that are committed visit other places all the time, except for Clemson. But when you have a commitment from a portal, you think that usually means they're going to shut things down and move on. But that's not the case here. Amos is going to visit Colorado, and, you know, he hasn't come out and said, I'm not committed to Mississippi State any longer. So it feels just kind of like what you would get from a high school kid, but that is concerning. And, you know, I know some people have pointed out, well, maybe he's concerned that State's continuing to chase Damian Martinez, the running back from Oregon State. And if that's the reason, well, I've got some bad news for him because Colorado just signed got a commitment from, I should say, Ohio State running back Dallas Hayden. Not to mention the fact that Colorado is a program that, quite frankly, doesn't run the ball a whole lot. You know, Deion Sanders likes to focus on his son Shedeur in the passing game there. So we'll see how it all pans out for Mississippi State, but it is some portal drama where you were hoping not to have any at a position where, you know, I know you and Cole talked about it at great length on the spring game. That's a position where State really wants to get to upgrade the talent in that room, and thought they had maybe done that with Amos, but it's not done yet, evidently.
Yeah, at the running back position right now, when you think about Kevon Lee, you think about Pittman, and who's the other? I don't have my chart in front of me. Who's the third guy that got some carries on Saturday?
Lee, Pittman, and Johnny Daniels.
Johnny Daniels was the other one. Thank you. I think all three of those guys are serviceable running backs, and maybe in terms of as a group can get done what you need to get done in the running game. But I think they would like to have something more than just serviceable. I mean, they would like to get a difference maker in the backfield. And I don't know that, at least at this point in their careers, you label any of those three as true difference makers. Is that a fair way to put it?
I would agree with it. Very fair way to put it. I mean, very serviceable is probably the correct answer. State can be okay with them as their running backs, but they would like to get better at that position. That's why they've recruited Amos and Martinez as hard as they have. So we'll see how that all pans out for Mississippi State. Somebody on the text line, he was stealing MSU's money. He didn't get any money. Nobody gives you NIL money for committing. You got to actually show up and play games to get that money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've heard that some other places give upfront money to players. I would be shocked.
That's a terrible idea.
I'd be shocked if that's happening here, because that is a terrible idea. Monthly, after they enroll.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's an interesting stat for you, Richard, that I
Okay.
saw today on the On3 message board. So under Mike Leach, State signed 38 high school players. Only 13 remain on the roster.
Whew.
I mean, that's a troubling statistic.
Yeah. What about quarterback?
I mean, I think right now, I listened to what y'all said about. I found it interesting too. I don't know that I've ever heard somebody say what I want to do offensively determines whether or not I can get a better backup quarterback in. But that's kind of what y'all were saying, because if they want Chapin to be a big part of the running game, they've got to feel confident about his backup. And so I think Jaden Rashada is coming for a visit. I don't think that that's been scheduled yet, but that is the rumor that he will visit Starkville. And if that happens, that's big news for Mississippi State. We'll see if they can get him into the boat.
For what it's worth, Nakos at On3.
He put in a prediction, but it's only at 60%. So that feels like he's just kind of, So we'll see. We'll see how that goes out. I'll be surprised if they land Rashada. It just feels like I know what you said yesterday about how he feels like he could go for a year of redshirting and maybe another year before he has to take over the program. But it just feels like if you're going to do that, if Georgia is available to you, I mean, Georgia is certainly a better program than Mississippi State. If you want to do that, then Auburn shouldn't be really an option, because they're going to push you to start right away.
Yeah. I do think it's worth waiting and seeing until it becomes official with Jaden Rashada to Georgia. But Blake Shapen is going to be the quarterback for Mississippi State, and I think they're a little more confident of that every day.